Not even gonna reveal it until fight night. Because on this type of fight, I can at least tell you guys this. One point I favor Terrence Crawford. Then at one point I can edge out Earl Spence Jr. Then I thought to myself, T Dub, you know what you better do? You better take a closer look. Now, because this video raw, authentic, it's not script, it's straight out the dome. I don't know what the next word gonna be until it come out. I might miss a few things, but I'm gonna try to give you guys that work. 15 minutes or less, give you my very best. So I'm thinking about in the ring, Spence, Crawford, who wins? Each side saying what their guy gonna do to win. But in reality, who wins? So when I look at Crawford, and it reminded me of a conversation I had with a guy that he got Earl Spence winning. And I asked him, I said, well, what does he have to do? Does he have to take the fight inside against Crawford? And he said, yeah, you got to take it inside. Be careful in the way going in. You know, maybe try to work the body. And it does sound good, you know, because listen, that's what, honestly, Earl Spence Jr., that's kind of his bread and butter, right? Take the fight inside, put the pressure on the pipes, and try to make them bust, right? That's pretty much what Earl Spence Jr. told Terrence Crawford. And I can't really argue with that as a strategy. But then you think that even though Earl Spence Jr. has had nothing but success with getting the W in the ring, there has been times that he's been caught, right? Danny Garcia caught him. Ugas caught him. Sean Porter was putting some work in on that fight. I don't care what you guys say. Some people try to call Sean Porter gatekeeper. Sean Porter was putting work in with Spence until Spence got that knockdown. Many, including I, it was like when Spence got that knockdown, like, okay, then that might just edge it to him. Now, I could have potentially had Porter up maybe, or did even. So when Spence does go inside, he gets hit. When he went inside against Sean Porter, he got hit. When he went inside and honestly took over the fight against Ugas, he got hit. Mouthpiece got knocked out. Ugas started attacking. But then that goes back to Earl Spence saying, hey, I'm more doable. In my opinion, Sean Porter, Ugas, they not as sharp as Crawford. They just not as sharp as Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford timing, placement on punches is one of the things that make him special. So now I think about it. Well, if those guys can catch him, can Terrence Crawford catch him? And we've seen what Terrence Crawford do when he catches people. He has the power or the pop to put them down. But then I think about like, okay, that's the risk, right? With risk and greater risk can become greater reward. I heard, I don't remember who said it. It might have been Mike Tyson. I don't know who. Somebody said that one of the best one of the best shots and more risky shots to do is an uppercut. Get somebody with an uppercut, you definitely can get him out of there. But it's one of the most vulnerable shots you can put yourself in to get hit. When Earl Spence Jr. go inside, and I think this is the plan that he got to go with. You got to get in safely. You have to put somebody, a sharpshooter, a good counterpuncher, a man that normally operates without feeling like he's putting under pressure. Terrence Crawford, you got to try to find a way to put a man in an uncomfortable position who I don't know if I've seen in an uncomfortable position. I'm not talking about getting caught with a shot here and there, because typically when he get caught with a shot here and there, he takes over the fight. So when I take a closer look, and I can see Earl Spence Jr. going inside on Terrence Crawford, I can see it going in different ways. I can see Earl Spence Jr. trying to use the jab, trying to slide in and do that Ugas type of work. And it's going to go one or two ways. You know what? We'll call it three, where they both kind of lay in there, throw a couple of shots and break off. But the one or two ways that I'm really focused on is that it can put a thinker like Crawford. Hell, by this time, it may even be a reactor. Some of his counter shot might just be reacting. It'll have to put him under so much pressure to keep up. Think about it. When Earl Spence Jr. get inside, the dude work, man. The dude is working. It's like they said, listen, in order for you to eat today, you got to clear this whole field by hand. And he want to eat. He gonna go out there. He works, man. The dude works. If Earl Spence Jr. come in and he's trying to put all that pressure, right? Trying to just touching Crawford, body, sliding, head, body. It could force a guy like Crawford to have to react in a higher, fast pace at a more often pace than it typically has to. See, there's a difference between reacting in an exchange and landing something, because an exchange could be like within like 2 or 3 shots of both guys throwing something. But when you got somebody like Earl in there, this guy, listen, you throw 2 or 3 shots back, he's still working. He's still body, head, body, head. Then see, sometimes your opponent's like, man, I got to hold this guy. He's not going to stop. You have to put that pressure on Crawford to try to get Crawford to either work at a higher, faster thinking rate to counter Spence coming in, which could expose him to get hit with more bigger shots by Spence. But at the end, it could have favored Spence if it goes that route. But again, it goes back to when Spence does a lot of this work, sometimes he gets got. Sometimes he gets caught. The Danny Garcia, the mouthpiece turnaround or whatever, the Ugas, the mouthpiece looking for the, knock out the mouth looking for the mouthpiece. Terrence Crawford has that out of nowhere pop that can sit you down. Terrence Crawford took a Sean Porter who was winning by some people on the scorecards. He heard through the grapevine that Sean was up in less than 15 seconds of a new round, not in between round where people wearing each other down with shots. Coming off of a fresh round, both guys sitting down to get up in 15 seconds to damn near end the fight. Guys, when I take a closer look at this, man, I can see this going so many different ways. See, I can see the Crawford fans, right? The Crawford fans who is like, listen, man, he's too skilled. He's going to be southpaw. And then when he think Earl Spence adapted to that, or he want to switch it up, he'll go orthodox. He might start to fight out orthodox. And then in a round or two, he'll turn southpaw. And everybody know he does better when he turns southpaw. And he wants Earl Spence Jr. to throw punches because he's going to counter in between those shots. And then then you think about Earl Spence Jr., right? Pressure bust pipes. He's going to come in there. And the one thing that make Earl Spence Jr. in my eyes better than a lot of fighters, because I heard the word that was used of calling him basic. And some people think the word basic is a bad thing, but in boxing, it's really not. In boxing, and that might even be the wrong word, but if you hold your defense tight, your arms tight, your body in a lean position, your chin down, your knees bent, you're working off the jab, you're bringing it right back home. Listen, that's a solid fighter. That is a solid fighter. Do you know how many people see? Even the flashy people. Let's talk about football, right? So let's look at let me think. You know, Peyton Manning, right? We'll do Peyton Manning, right? Peyton Manning, slow in the pocket, right? We seen him trying to scramble. Um, we see Molasses move at a faster pace, but his methodical got the job done. And then we see Mike Vick, right? Mike Vick is one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. Mike, man, to see him be at a scramble, see, that's flashy, man. To see him be at a scramble, pick up those yards, that, you know what I'm saying? But in the end, Peyton Manning is looked at as the better quarterback, even though he doesn't have the flash. He was just so precise. But in boxing, being precise is having your body in the precise right way, doing a precise jab, bringing it home back to where it comes. When I say bring it home means when you're boxing, I'm gonna teach you guys something real quick. A lazy jab is one that comes out and it don't get back home, which is right back to your chin. And it may even like before you do bring it back, it may even circle down a little bit and come back. And it might come back to the chin, or it might come down to the chest. To me, that's a lazy jab. Those jabs get countered all the time. The hardest jab to counter, here's a trick. The hardest jab to counter in boxing is one that you use a few feints, shoot it out there, and get it right back where it left. Right back. See, that's one of the best thing I like doing. When I was boxing or when I was fighting, is that I hit him with that feint, and all of a sudden, I catch him, I shoot out there, boom. And before they can come back, he's already back there. Even they try to counter punch. Even if there's been people that I faced in fighting that's been so fast that I'm not gonna lie, it's like I saw them flex to throw a punch. I only had time just to basically put my hands, up, and all of a sudden I felt the hit, but I never saw the punch. Those fighters that I've been hit by that I can actually see the punch. I'm like, oh man, I saw it coming. There's been something that's so damn fast. I'm not gonna lie, it's almost scary. And I was very fast, which people consider that was scary fast because they didn't see it, right? So when I faced somebody that's similar to me, like it was a guy, he was very fast, but he wasn't fast as me. But I'm not. But remember, I'm not punching myself. And I was like, geez, man, this tool is quick. But the one thing that helped me out, in winning that is having tight defense. Like when it's against a fast guy, have your hands up, chin down, tight defense, get it back home, lots of feints. But guys, I think what's going on, champ? I want to get more into this closer look, but you remember, guys, I don't script this. I was at work. I'm about to go right back to work, 15 minutes or less. And let me see if I can give you guys maybe, what time is it? Let's give you about a few more seconds. So when I take a closer look at this, and when I think about what type of fight this is realistically like the Sugar Ray Leonard versus Tommy the Hitman Hearns. This is like all of those guys because you're taking guys, or Marvin the Hagler, you're taking guys that they don't even consider a loss. They only believe they can stop the other person. And they are only forced to believe or see something different is how it plays out in the ring. Like them guys, like we know how dangerous Sugar Ray Leonard was and Hearn was. We know how dangerous they was and Hagler. We know how dangerous they was. They had to get in the ring. Was it Hagler and Hearn? From the first second, man, they was going at it. That's what you have right here. But this is for undisputed at welterweight. This is truly something that if you are a boxing fan, not a boxing fan, you want to witness, and you don't get it where it's two, and that's what makes it even more special. You got two guys that are undefeated. They have not tasted a loss. The only way they even came close to a loss is standing next to their opponent that lost to them. They've been winning, no matter what. Terrence Crawford is crafty, good counterpuncher, good power, underrated power. I think people still underrate his power, no matter what he go out there and do. Underrated. I think Earl Spence might be the heavier hands, maybe the bigger guy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a different result. Like when Shane Mosley was talking about Manny Pacquiao, he was saying that it wasn't like really hard. It just had a pop to it. That remember, Manny Pacquiao sat down Shane Mosley, even though Manny Pacquiao lost to Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather gave him props for his power. It's just something about that pop, man. I think Terrence Crawford has that pop. I think Earl Spence Jr. have the heavy hands. My boy in the building. What up with it, champ? Man, St. Louis, man. You know how we do it. Shout out to my boys Urban Stuff. STL in the building. Man, I'm saying it's hot right now. And I got a new place and I had some sod put in. And you know what's crazy about St. Louis? Every time I check the weather forecast, it be looking like rain gonna come in. I'm not gonna lie. This is the only time I really ever cared about, rain like that, like really wanted it to come. What is 2 times? Because I'm a fisherman, and when the water's low, like maybe get some more rain. But this side, man, my water bill is crazy, man. I'm like, they should have put this side in spring. Why would they put some side in the summer? Man, that rain keep getting pushed out. Like it was supposed to say some rain this Saturday, but now it's looking like it's not going to happen. It's going to happen Sunday. They said it was supposed to be rain today, but it's not going to rain today. It's going to be tomorrow. He said it's supposed to be rain. It keep moving. But listen, right now I'm taking a closer look at Spence versus Crawford. I don't have a winner, but I can see both guys winning. Man, you know what's hard for me to vision? It's hard for me to vision that one of these guys get knocked out, and that's crazy. It's hard for me to see, one of these guys get hurt to the point and stopped. But both of these guys possess the power and skills to do it to the other. What's the best way to get to Crawford? Sean Porter said the best way to get to Earl Spence Jr., what he should have did more was go to the body on Spence. Now, in order to go to the body, there's a lot of risk involved. See, when Earl Spence Jr. fought Sean Porter, he got hit a lot. Even though he won that fight, the side of his face was swollen up. He got hit a lot. When you see people don't always talk about that. When you go to the body, I always say, you gotta go to the body. There's a lot of risk. And a lot of time they want you to, just bend your knees to get down there and throw your shots. Man, it don't always work out that way. Guys, listen, they're gonna hit each other a lot. He says, I think it does the distance, maybe some knockdowns, goes the distance. But who's getting knocked down? Who's gonna get knocked down? That's the thing. To me, Earl Spence Jr. he doesn't really, but it's different. I don't know, man. That's the thing. I don't know. The closer I take a look at this, I think the more confusion I get on who's gonna win. The closer I look, the more, man, I think it's going on. He put that work on Terrence Crawford. Don't give Terrence Crawford the opportunity to try to think and plan his shots out. Just making him have to react. That way, if he's throwing, it's going to leave more openings for Earl Spence Jr. And if he can make it uncomfortable for Terrence Crawford, I got Earl Spence. And then all of a sudden I start thinking about it. That wait a minute, man. Earl Spence Jr., when he been in there with Danny Garcia, Ugas, and Sean Porter, these guys have affected him. They have hit him. And to be in Terrence Crawford could, let's say, I don't know about Danny, but I think bigger punch for Ugas. Danny, I don't know. I mean, I want to say he is. I think Danny might have been a bigger puncher at 140, to be honest. He still carry a heavy hand at 147, but I think he was a bigger puncher at 140, and I do not think he a big puncher at 154. I seen this fight. I don't. He said, "Yeah, I don't know. I'm more of a Spence fan, but I don't know who wins." Man, listen, Crawford got a lot of angles. See, here's the thing: when Spence fought Porter and Ugas, a lot of times they didn't do a lot of movement. They was there to bang. Now Sean Porter did show some slick ability to where when they get inside on the ropes, hit Spence and stuff like that. But Crawford has legit angles. You know, Crawford, if this is where he can make a mistake. If Crawford stands there and do the whole fighting inside the phone booth, willing to catch and shoot, he could be in a lot of trouble. How's it going? He could be in a lot of trouble. Told you guys I'm at work, man. So walking this parking lot, people looking at me like, here, man, let me go and get let me see, get my butt back in here. This is only 15 minutes or less. I'm gonna get back in, get this work in. I don't know if I'm gonna come back, man. They got me working so hard. It's so hard for me to get time now. I'm doing like 2 or 3 people worth of work with just one person. But all right, guys, hit the like button, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this fight. This was a closer look.